Hey everyone, it's Trigger Bar Philosopher. Welcome back out to the channel. Today we got another exciting episode where we're continuing on in our testing of the HK CC9. This time we're doing some ballistic tests with some Sig V-Crown and then their 365 carry every day for short barrels. Should be a good time. Let's get to shooting. Okay, well, what are we talking about? Today we are talking about the HK CC9. It is their slim version, less than 1 inch wide, micro compact pistol that they recently came up with it. You'll see that mine has changed just slightly. I have put a optic on top. I put the EPS Carry from Holosun on top. It's just a single dot. I didn't get a multi-reticle this time. And I'm really liking this gun. In fact, I had every intention, I had a deal with a friend that I would get it, shoot it, test it out, and then, you know, we'd, of course, following all laws and everything, of course, do a transfer and get it over to him. But things fell a little differently because I kind of fell in love with the gun in the meantime. So this one is going to stay with the channel, so you'll see a lot more testing with it. So one of the cool things with it, though, is that we are going to be continuing our testing. I've already done 3 traditional self-defense round. I've done Remington Gold and Saber, I've done Federal HST, and I've done Hornady XT, or Hornady XP. Their Flex Tip, it's their critical duty lineup. Today we're going to be testing a couple of different Sig ones. Their Sig Elite Performance, and then we're also going to be testing their P365, or their 365. It's supposed to expand better in a short barrel. It was probably made for their P365 lineup. This is a little bit longer than a P365, which is 3.1 inch barrel. This is like a 3.1 inch barrel. So this should be good. We're going to test it up in our ballistic setup. So let's go down and check that out. Okay, this is our ballistic testing setup. I have gel blocks from Clear Ballistics. It's the synthetic gelatin. Yeah, I know. And if you question whether how close this is to the real organic gelatin that the FBI uses, I have videos testing that out actually with the P365, and it's relatively close. So these tests should be relatively close. Now I got a little bit more penetration in the Clear Ballistics than I did organic gelatin, about 4 inches more than I did in the organic. So we can take that off. Now we're going to be doing 2 tests. We're going to be doing 2 shots with 1 of each round of the HK CC9 into just the Clear Ballistic gel. And then we're going to do something a little bit different, take off from what Gun Sam does, but we're going to put in 2 layers of t-shirt, 2 layers of denim. Then we're going to do 2 inches of Clear Ballistic gel. Then we're going to do some medium density fiberboard. It's kind of like a rib simulation, but in many ways it's also just to even out the Clear Ballistic gel so it performs and behaves a little bit more like the organic gelatin. So we'll get a very similar penetration. This has some characteristics that are like bone. The hardness is similar to bone, and then the water density is somewhat similar to bone. So that's our testing setup. Again, Clear Ballistics naked, and then we're going to put some stuff on it. So that's our setup. Should be a good time. Let's get shooting. Okay, well, we got the 115 grain V-Crown. It's their traditional V-Crowns jacketed hollow point. So shoot that first. Let's go down, take a look, and we had 1125 out of the 3.3 inch barrel. For this first test with the regular V-Crown, we see that it got just about to a foot. Now, this could be a little bit concerning because I saw other tests with organic gelatin where the rounds got about 4 inches, 3 to 4 inches shorter penetration in organic gelatin than they are getting in the Clear Ballistics. So if you back that out, that might be down to the 8 inch mark. So maybe that's not much. But I did see very similar expansion. So, well, we're going to put this to the test when we put in the medium density fiberboard and the other layers of t-shirt, and then we get pretty equivalent type of penetration. So we'll see how that goes. Why don't we move to that 365 round that's meant for shorter barrels. Here's a close-up of these 2 rounds. This is the 365 every day, and this is the Sig V-Crown. I can't tell a difference at all between these. They look the same to me. They look the same. They're both 115 grain bullets. Maybe this expands a little bit at lower velocities more. I don't know. We're gonna put it to the test though. Okay, we have the 115 grain 365 that's built for short barrels. We've got the CC9 barrel that is 3.3 inches. Here we go. And we got 1122, so very similar velocities as the Sig V-Crown. Let's see if we see any difference in the performance. The one in the back is the 365 round. We see it just went just a little bit shorter. So the other one really was closer to 3 inches, and this is just under 12 inches. Let me flip the block around and then you can see this just a little bit better. Now you are seeing the close one that's right here. It seems to me to do just a little bit less damage. Maybe it expanded more. We'll have to pull these out now and take a quick look. Okay, this one on the left is the regular V-Crown bullet. We see that it got to 0.57, 0.6, 0.6075 is the max it went to. Let's take a look and see what this 365 one did. Yeah, it got a couple of hundredths bigger, 0.64. So yeah, this did expand a little more, and that's why it didn't get as far. It's just odd that, I don't know, maybe the wound tracks, there's probably no difference to it, but yeah, so that's pretty good. Does expand just a little bit more, but I'd really like deeper penetration, so that's pretty interesting. Back with the Sig V-Crown regular version, and we're going to put it in with our full contraption, 2 layers t-shirt, 2 layers of denim, 2 inches of ballistic gel, then some medium density fiberboard, then more ballistic gel. So here we go. All right, 1120. All right, just taking a look at this shot, we came in right up here. We went through, you can tell the ones that go through the medium density fiberboard, because again, it went through t-shirt, denim, then 2 inches of gel, then the medium density fiberboard. We see at this point, we had pretty decent expansion after 2 inches. That's actually fairly impressive. Here is our 2 inches of gel. You can see it just starting to expand. It actually looks like it might have dumped the denim before it got all the way through there, which is pretty interesting. But then it's mostly carrying medium density fiberboard all the way out to, we have to go to the front of my contraption. So it went all the way out to about the 15.5 inch mark. So that is pretty good, getting through that MDF and the t-shirt. We probably saw less expansion, which is probably good. This gets us more in correlation with what we're probably going to see with other results. So I think that this is, or with other tests, so I think that this is performing pretty good at this point. Now let's see what happens when we shoot the short barreled version. Okay, now we have the 365. It's for short barreled guns. We'll see how it performs in our full real world simulation. I may have missed that, but that one was 1143. Interesting. One of the highest readings we have so far. Let me see if I have to go reshoot that though. Okay, again, I'm not sure how you can see it. I put 4 bullets into this, trying to do a comparison of these two in the 2 different simulations. Gel blocks are expensive, guys. If you'd like me to use a fresh gel block for every one, write to Clear Ballistics, say, hey, Trigger Bar Philosopher's doing amazing testing. He's the best tester on, no, don't say that. They won't believe you. See, he does halfway decent, well, he does okay testing on ballistic gel. You should give him a better discount. Then I'll do more of it. But for now, we're gonna put 4 rounds into the gel block, and that's what you're gonna have to live with. Otherwise, you can also contribute to the channel. Shameless plug. Okay, so comes in below, on top is the V-Crown, just the traditional Elite Performance, and then on the bottom is the round that we have for the everyday carry. It looks like it maybe expanded just a little bit more. It went just a little bit shorter of a distance. It got out to about a little under 15 inches. Remember, the other one went 15.5. This is like 14.5, 14.75. So we'll see how that, as we pull out both of these rounds, but in terms of the performance and damage into it, yeah, they both look like they did pretty good damage. See if we can see any difference in the medium density fiberboard. This is the 365, this is Elite Performance. Can't really sure there's a thing there. Maybe a little bit more damage coming out of the traditional V-Crown one. Interesting. Okay, let's take a look at these two. And we actually saw, I feel like we got better performance with the traditional V-Crown Elite Performance. Let's take a look at, it did get less expansion than the ones that were just being shot without clothing. And yeah, 0.53. So the other ones were closer to 0.6. And then on this one, look at it didn't really expand. Part of it didn't expand. I almost wonder if there's a manufacturing defect there, because these pulled apart, but it doesn't even look like there's a cut over here. I can't see any groove. So a defect in the jacket there is what it's looking like to me, but I don't know. Just could be hit the block a little different, but I will tell you that I did check and there were no seams, so it didn't hit the seam of the denim. Of course, these are cut up blue jeans, but it's a pant leg, and I fold it so that the seams are on the very outer edge, and this did not hit that. So yeah, all right, well, quick take a look at this. This is going to be less. Kind of, yeah. Well, we squeeze it out there, it almost gets out 0.53, but that's at a wonky angle for it. So yeah, it's around 0.5, somewhere around there. Okay, and then, you know, just comparing them real quick to the previous ones, look what we get when we don't put clothing and other things in front of them. These rounds, you know, and the crazy thing, these rounds aren't, you know, going that fast, but just remember that this one was actually the fastest round that was out there. That was 1140. Everything else was under 1130 and then around 1120. So interesting. Well, we've got 5 rounds of that Sig Elite Performance. We'll see how it does. We'll make sure that it performs and cycles the gun and does all that thing. We haven't really shot more than 1 round at a time. And then we have our Garmin Zero up. So I'll be posting up what the velocities that we're getting. And then I'll talk about what we get as a summary at the end of my 5-shot group. For our 5 shots, we got a min of 1095, an average of 1115, and a max of 1139. Extreme spread of 44, standard deviation of 16, average kinetic energy of 317. Let's try the 365 round now. So I don't know if you've noticed, but I've actually been trying out some new mags. These are from HK, but they have little extenders on them. They don't look like you know, when you get the 15 round mag from Sig, it looks like it's from Sig. This extender looks like it's an aftermarket, but I got it from HK, so I don't really know what the game is, but we're trying them out. This is the 15 round. I was trying the 17 round. We got 5 rounds of the 365. We'll see how it does, and we'll tell you what the session summary is at the end. With our 5 shots, we had a min of 1129, an average of 1142, a max of 1154, extreme spread of 25, standard deviation of 8, average kinetic energy of 333. So it did go up. So we are getting a little bit more kinetic energy with the 365 round. We just had that one oddball that didn't expand. So is it possible that what it means with these is that we're going to get a little bit faster velocities out of the shorter barrel? You know, maybe that's the difference. I thought it might be the hollow point is different, but I don't think that's true. The hollow points look like the exact same hollow points, but they just look like maybe it's a, you know, quicker burning powder that helps it with the shorter barrel is going on here. So now the flip side is we were what, 315 and we went to 333. So if I shot 5 more rounds, it might just be the same thing. So they're pretty close. I would say close enough in most regards. That's probably what I feel like, is it's close enough. All right, so with that said, why don't we do what I like to call accuracy? Okay, well, we are at 7 yards. I like to move back just a little bit more from some of the other testing that I do. We do have a red dot on this, so we should be able to get pretty good with it. But again, it's a micro compact, which are sometimes hard to make sure you're doing all your presses, and you don't really get enough hand on your from your support hand to hold on to the frame as well. So You know, there are some issues like that. But what we're going to do is we're going to try it out at 7 yards and we'll see how we do. What this tells me is, am I getting any tumbling or anything going keyholing? Is anything going like just crazy wild when we try to shoot it in some sort of sense? I'm not looking for some type of precision or with it. I'm just trying to see is, you know, do these rounds and this gun kind of work together? All right, let's go down range, see what we got. Well, aside from it just being to the right of where I have zeroed my gun, it's very accurate for me. It's also a random group of 5. Maybe the next 5 are a little bit bigger because I'm throwing one off because that's how I shoot. But this 5-shot group is very good. See no issues with this gun. Okay, next up we have the 365 round, which is made for the shorter barrels. See how it does with the HK CC9. All right, let's go see what I did. Okay, just taking a look at our second group, you know, I actually felt on these two that I did pull it, but we got 3 solid ones in there. And then we got these little flyers, and on that last one, I know for sure that was a flyer, a little bit of a finger issue up there. But hey, these are, for me, these are identical groups, and about the accuracy that I'm gonna get going slow at that distance. Sure, you could do better, go ahead and do it, and send me the video. Well, let's wrap things up. So today we tested the Sig Elite Performance V-Crown versus the 365 shorter barrel performance from Sig Sauer. This is their self-defense rounds, their jacketed hollow points, their V-Crown bullets. And I think we got pretty good performance. We saw a slight uptick. And I'm hesitating here. We saw a slight uptick when we did some velocity testing. And in general, it was consistent that the rounds were generally going faster with the 365 rounds versus the regular Elite Performance rounds. So maybe they're getting just a little bit more velocity in that shorter barrel with maybe a different powder. But it's not that much of a difference. So I would go for cost. Which of these, if you like the Sig V-Crown and you like their performance, which of these is cheaper for you to get? And then I go with that. I think they perform very well. They got pretty good penetration, especially when we started testing with some of the other things in there. We got a little bit less expansion and a little bit deeper penetration, which correlates with our organic gelatin tests. I'll leave a link to my organic gelatin test where I did it with an actual P365 barrel where I compared Clear Ballistic and organic gelatin, which is what the FBI does, and that gives you a sense of how these two things can vary. But I do believe that when we put up the medium density fiberboard into it and we add those layers of clothing, it performs very similar between these two. All right, now with that said, in our accuracy and velocity testing, I thought it performed pretty well. And then it functioned very well in my gun throughout the whole time that I was shooting it. So if you're looking for a self-defense round in your short-barreled handgun, I think this is a good one for you. All right, this is the 4th video in a series on what we're testing with the HK CC9 with doing some ballistic testing. Hope this has been interesting to you. Hope everyone has a great week. Let's get to shooting.
Out here in the US of A, where our spirits run free.
Okay, now we have the 365 version. That's a short carry.
From
Not anymore.
pistols to rifles, we'll
Just
take
dumped
on the best. Review and each weapon, put them to the test. With revolvers and shotguns, we'll break it all down. The Second
Almost looks like a
Amendment
manufacturing
protects from the crown.
or in the jacket.
Living for freedom, defending our